Good morning and welcome to Carbiz Leaders Live. And today I'm on with Kristy Elliott of Sunshine Chevrolet, and I'm just waiting for her to come aboard this fine morning, but it's Saturday, and I thought this is a perfect song for her because she's Sunshine Chevrolet, and I'm in North Carolina, and just one of these ladies that has really just been ultra supportive of my career ever since we met via Dave Villa, and thank you, Dave, so much for that, for this connection. It's really been one of those people who I truly respect and just think is, out there trying to, show the world that, women can run a business and really just shine. So I'm so excited for you guys to meet her. I think her wisdom is going to be amazing, and please like and subscribe to our channel. We can't wait to have many followers, and just bear with me as I'm kind of figuring this whole thing out. This whole streaming thing is new for me, so I'm just gonna Anyway, so in the meantime, if you're here and you're listening and you have any specific questions that you want to ask Kristy Elliott, field principal at Sunshine Chevrolet, she finishes her makeup, and that's my fault because I gave her 10 minutes. If you have any questions that you guys want to ask her, please put it in the comments, and that way you can be kind of be an answer part of this service anyway. So excited. You feel good. Oh yeah. One of the questions that I want to ask her is what this dealer trying to do. And I don't know if you guys have anything else that you guys want to ask. So anyway, I'm going to find morning this morning. And you gotta get my girl and hair and makeup on and I'm always 5 minutes late to everything too, so that's my apologies. So I'm just super grateful, and the sun is shining. It was a beautiful day this morning. Hi, Erin, how are you? And just excited about the whole process this fine morning, and just can't wait to get into the morning and then off to my son's concert this morning. So it should be a lot of fun. So yes, I'm definitely turning down the music, but anyway, just wrapping up a great month. We're at the end of January for the car business. It's a pretty big month, and we had a record month again. Did a lot of business. Had a lot of new customers come aboard, and just want to say thank you everybody that supports Royalty Logistics and supports what we're doing here, and just good morning to you. So listen, I am just going to keep talking. So if you have any questions for me in the meantime, until Kristy hops on, I am here for you. So just let me know, if there's anything you might be interested in the meantime, but here she comes right now. Thank you. Hi, Kristy. Hold on 1 second. And let me just add her in here, and then, good morning to you.
Good morning.
First of all, thank you so much for being on my show this fine morning.
Of course.
And I am so excited to share your journey and your story with our audience. Honestly, you are one of true inspiration to me. So thank you so much. And I've been walking on Sunshine for you this fine morning, and I danced on it and on the way here too. And I thought, oh my God, what a great song for you. So if you wouldn't mind just kind of introducing yourself and telling everybody a little bit. Hi, Melissa. How are you? Thank you so much for coming on. Melissa Burrow is watching us right now. What a great lady. Great book. I read your book, by the way, Melissa. Fabulous. But tell us a little bit about your journey. Introduce yourself, and and we'll take it away.
All right. I'm Kristy Elliott. I live in Asheville, North Carolina, and I'm the dealer operator of Sunshine Chevrolet. I had a little bit of a different journey to become a dealer. My family's been in the business for, 50 years. My dad was with General
Yeah.
Motors Corporate, and then he bought his first dealership 41 years ago. I actually went to work in nonprofit fundraising and marketing in Houston, Texas,
Yeah.
and worked in healthcare for 18 years. And at age 45 was ready for a change. So I quit my job and joined our family business.
Well, I think that's amazing. And, family business is, you care about it a little bit more. I mean, obviously, this is your family's legacy. And I think that you try to, give more than anything possible. Tell us about, has it always been sunshine? That's what I want to know.
Okay, yeah. So my dad's first two dealerships are in Texas, where I grew up. And so everyone knows who Don Elliott is. So they are Don Elliott dealerships. But he bought it. Well, the funny story is he and my mom had a vacation house in Asheville. And about a year and a half after they bought the house, he got tired of just vacationing. And so he bought a dealership. Well, knowing that no one really knew Don Elliott like they did in Texas, we decided on a different name, and so came up with Sunshine, because you'd have to know my dad, but he always has a smile on his face. He has a huge amount of energy, and so that totally fits him, and hopefully I am carrying on the moniker as well.
Absolutely. And by the way, I love North Carolina, love South Carolina. I love the Carolinas. In fact, I'm trying to live there. It's definitely cold up here, and I like to escape to the warm and definitely the sunshine for sure. We don't get enough of it up here. So you took over the family business. What has sort of been like your challenges and how you've overcome some of those things and sort of assimilating into that?
And so just to be clear, I didn't come in and take over. And my dad is still active in our business. And so and I'm sorry about that. I have a little furry friend.
That's always welcome. Pets and children welcome here.
Chevy, stop it. And yes, my dog's name is Chevy.
I love it.
So he brought me in, and for the first 2 years, what I really did was learn. The first thing I did was attend NADA Academy.
Yeah.
And that was the best gift that I could have ever been given.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop it. Stop. Sorry.
He's not going to stop too. He just wants to be a part of it.
I know. And so, so I did that the year, and that is incredible for anyone in the car business, either in a managerial role or in a dealer role. I highly encourage NAD's Dealer Academy and 20 groups. They're amazing. And so that's just fantastic. So I did that, and then took over the fixed ops area and worked with our fixed ops manager for a year, and then moved to the variable side. And so that's about 3 years ago, he made me the dealer operator of the store. And it was actually a huge surprise. I wasn't expecting it. And, so it made me feel really good that he was going to entrust me with one of his assets and, part of our family's legacy.
I absolutely. Tell me about what I'm interested to know about these dealer 20 groups. I saw your toes in the sand the other day on your Facebook. I was like, oh, you're on vacation. You're like, no, I'm at a dealer 20 group. What is that like? Why is that important to you?
So, you know what? They're amazing, because no matter how much you think there's always something to learn. And you are put in a room with 20 or 20 plus other dealers from different areas of the country. So you're not with any of your competitors.
Right.
And, you do the financials and all of that, but really it's sharing ideas and asking questions and having these very lively discussions that if you take it to heart and leave your ego at the door, You can have ideas that you can come back and they can make, overnight impacts on your dealership and your profitability. And so my dad has been a member of A20 Group for probably over 20 years now.
Yeah.
And so I, of course, joined as soon as I joined the business. And I am fortunate that he joined for Sunshine, one of the most successful GM20 groups that NADA has. So I was immediately put in the room with just some amazing dealers, and also second and third generation dealers, which is helpful for me joining a family business with those type of, questions and issues that come up. So they're just amazing. And so they're from all over the country, from Metro Detroit, Toledo, Ohio, Phoenix, and like so successful. And most of them have seen and done everything. And so for someone who's newer to the business like I am, it's amazing to come in and be welcomed. And they appreciate my perspective and experience. And, just, I love it. So it's, it's funny. We do go some nice places for our meetings, but we also start our meetings at 7 a.m. So
we work hard in this business. I mean, hey, we're here on a Saturday at 11. All right. Like we're working. We deserve an hour, that's for sure.
We start these meetings at 7 a.m. and you better be on your toes because, the questions are going to be fired at you as soon as you walk in the door. And so, it's fun. And then you have a couple hours in the afternoon to relax and put your toes in the sand or go hiking in the mountains or wherever you might be. And, two of our meetings are, this is particular in my group, but two of our meetings involve families. And so dealers could bring their families. And one, then we bring a manager from either fixed ops or variable. And that's a really intense meeting because it is a full 7 to 5 and then another half day. And then we all go back to work.
Right. One of the things that I'm interested in learning is how you kind of take your healthcare background, because you did spend a lot of time there, and how can you bring some of that perspective into the car business?
So I was very fortunate. I worked for a fabulous organization in Houston for 12 years. The last 12 years I was there, and was fortunate to wear a lot of different hats, and was in a managerial role. And so you learn how to lead a team, set goals, work off of budget, overcome obstacles. And, it's funny, in a recession type situation, fundraising is impacted, as is the car business. So there is some synergy around the economics of it. On the healthcare side, it's funny because, healthcare's work off of very thin margins or profit margins, as do car dealers. And so that actually aspect of it really helped me transition to the car business and know that, budgets are very tight and expenses matter. And, every dollar of expense you can save is $1 in your pocket versus, having to make $100 to make one. So that those type of experiences. I went through 3 difficult times in the 12 years I was with them, where we had to make decisions on cutbacks and laying off employees, and thankfully that hasn't happened since I've joined the business. But I look at expenses on a monthly basis, and even though we've been experiencing economic good times, I want to look at all waste, and so we do, we'll sign up for a new product and we'll give it 3 months. And then we'll reevaluate as a team. And there have been things we've kept that, have become valuable parts of our operation, and things like, it's a great product and it probably would work better for another dealer in a different situation, but it's not right for us right now. And we don't really need that. So, let's cut that expense.
Yeah, I think that is important too. I owning a business for the very first time, and you go through these periods of like everything's going good, everything's going good, everything's going good, everything's going good, and then all of a sudden it's not going good.
Right.
And how to sort of weather that storm, I think I call it the pendulum shifting to the other side. And it is scary,
It's
because it's
very
people's
scary.
lives. It's your money, it's your life. And how did you kind of weather, get used to that? Because I've experienced that myself and I'm still trying to figure it out.
Emotionally, and I'm not sure you do get used to it. Um, I go to work and you do too, and you have other people's livelihoods in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so hard because, it puts a pressure on to hire the right people from the get go.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
Mm-hmm.
that's challenging in this
Right.
economic environment with
Yeah.
unemployment being so low is the
Mm-hmm.
competition for talent is so, so, so difficult.
Yeah.
So, but getting the right people in, making sure they're trained and have the resources to do their job,
Sure.
um, you know, is all part of it. But, I'm with you. Anytime things get tough and everything, it's, you kind of grit your teeth a little bit. It's like, okay, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to come out the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's not just me.
Right.
Um,
That's
you
what
know,
I learned too. I
and,
am not
you know,
alone. You think
it,
you take it so personally. Like,
yeah.
why
And
is it must
it's
be
not
I must be the
just
only one?
I mean, I've been fortunate in my career, but I could imagine a time where you take a job that's a wrong fit and
Mhm.
experience a professional failure, but that's you and you move on and you get another
Right.
job. This
Yeah.
is if I fail,
Yeah.
it's going to impact way more than me and my dog.
Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah.
impact a whole lot of people. So,
Yeah.
we better be very, very thoughtful in our business
Yeah.
and make the right moves.
One of the things that I wanted to kind of find out from you talking about hiring the right people, because I think
Mhm,
bringing in people is one of the hardest
mhm.
part in kind of developing them. So,
Yep.
like, what is your secret? How do you kind of know that this is the right person for you and your
Oh,
business?
you know what?
Is there a click? Is there like something that you have like an intuition about? Is there like they meet all the criteria? Because sometimes they meet all the criteria and they suck, or they don't meet any criteria and they're great, you know.
And it's all of those things you said with a little dash of faith, and then, but people don't never hesitate to surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll hire someone that you think is going to be the perfect person, and either be a great salesperson or be a great manager,
Hmm.
be a great technician, and they disappoint you.
Yeah.
And then you hire someone else, you're like, I'm not too sure about this one. And they completely surprise you in a positive way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so one thing, and this is my dad's precedent, but I totally 100% agree with it,
Yeah.
is we promote from within when all possible.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Even when that means maybe giving someone a job that they're not quite ready for,
Sure.
but they've shown that they're loyal and
Hmm.
trustworthy and smart enough to learn the next level at their profession.
Right.
Um, and so, we've done that in fixed ops, we've done that in variable.
Hmm.
And, those are our most successful people.
That's
And,
awesome.
the people. So, my dad's two stores in Texas, he's got three
Hmm.
managers, um, a sales at one of his stores, a sales manager, and a parts manager that have been with him
Yeah.
for 30 years.
That's beautiful.
The sales manager has been there over half his life. Uh, and then at his other store, there's a sales manager that's been there for, I think, 26 years,
Yeah.
which is over half his life.
Yeah.
And so, when you have those type of people, it, it, they
They're
truly
your
become
family.
family.
They're your
And
family for sure.
yeah, they are family. the trust level is so strong. We're still all going to make mistakes, and
Right.
that's from the top down, but it's a little easier maybe.
Yeah.
Because there's, when someone makes mistakes, there's a trust of, oh, I'm not going to get fired today.
Right.
So I have that with my fixed ops manager. Don promoted him 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And he'll say probably before he was ready,
Yeah.
but he has learned and grown and is now leading a very profitable department.
Right.
And he'll be the first one of like, hey, we messed up on something. This is what happened, and this is what we're going to do about it. When that happens,
beat
just
that.
tell me and have a plan. That's all I want to know.
Exactly.
I hate to be surprised with things that have gone awry. And so, but he is the best. I'll be like, hey, a customer's upset. This is why, this is what we're doing. Okay.
Right.
I will fully support that.
Sure. So, one of the things I think is every business is going to have its issues, its problems. That's business, right? Business is all about solving problems.
Right.
And I think if it's the people that try to like shield you, like, oh, we don't want you to know about the problem. Like,
right.
But if you know what's going on, right, and you can kind of either, kind of have an input on the solution if they don't know, or, okay, I like that solution that you came up with. That's fabulous. I think you can't beat that. You have to solve problems in business. Nothing is ever going to be perfect because it's people dealing with people at the end of the day. I think
exactly. So. And, at the end of the day in our business, and I'm sure it's the same with yours, customers are going to be upset. And service is the hardest. No one's happy if their vehicle's having an issue. No one's really happy if they have to come in for an oil change because it's taking an hour out of their day.
Right.
So it's an inconvenience. At the best of times, it's an inconvenience.
Right.
So what can we do to make it as smooth of a process as possible and as small of an inconvenience, and if that means giving them a loaner car or, taking them back to work or going to pick their vehicle up, whatever we have to do, we try and do that.
I think that's amazing. I think it's like, okay, everybody is so pressed for time. I think time in the dealership is becoming like more and more of a problem today that people are having. And so when you have those loaner cars, even if you can make the process of even buying a car quicker, faster, because at the end of the day, like most people want to, like my time is valuable, your time is valuable. We're all trying to spend a little extra time with our families, we've got to work and everything is going. So I love those ideas. I think they're amazing because you can't like, all right, let me go run an errand. Let me go run to the drugstore and pick up my prescription, or let me go to Costco. My dealership has a Costco. I'm like, let me run over to Costco and I'll shop. And they'll drive me over there. They'll pack up my car, like then they have to pack it. I'm a shopaholic.
This was actually a topic of discussion at my 20 group meeting 2 weeks ago was that the biggest reason for declined service work is not money, it's time.
Yeah.
So, but I have to disagree with you on one point is on the sales side. I don't think we should all rush to make it a fast process. I think we have to be efficient.
Sure.
But I think we have to respect people's time. And if that means that they want to, come in and close their deal and fill out their paperwork in 45 minutes, I think we need to make that happen. But I think we also need to respect that this is one of the largest purchases people will ever make in their lifetime.
Sure.
And some people just really want to take their time.
Yeah.
And I think, and especially on the delivery side, cars are so complex these days. I think we need to take the time and show them how everything works.
I would agree with you on that.
I think
that
people
comes down to that.
like to gloss over that. I mean, what a salesman like to do? They like to sell the car. Once the person says, I want this car, they're like, woohoo, I'm done. No, you're not.
Right.
And so if we're providing good customer service, we need to make sure that the delivery process is excellent.
Yes.
And that we're answering all of their questions and making sure that they're completely comfortable, because cars are so complex
Right.
these days. I mean, they're crazy. So
We are. I like all the bells and whistles, not gonna lie.
yeah, they're awesome.
I had to have my heated wheel. Okay, I had to. So I had to
Where
get the
you
top of the
live,
line.
of course you do.
Of course I do. I can't live without it.
Yeah.
My hands are nice and toasty. But I live in the cold. But I do agree with you that. And I think you have to really read your customer too, because there's a different level of customer. Some people want, okay, this is what I want you to do. And I know exactly what I want. Like I was one of those people, I'm like, I want white, I want it fully loaded, I want the newest one, and get me out of here as fast as I can because I go back to work. Now there's
Will
other
you buy
people.
your next car?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I overpaid too. You know what? I overpaid. I didn't even negotiate the price or anything. I think I was like, yeah, just can you make it? And they wanted like 439 or something. I was like, can you just make it an even 430 and we'll rock and roll? And they're like, sure. Well, because here's the thing. I really believe in, I believe in paying it forward sometimes. Sometimes, it's not about the money for me. For me, it was about the time, and I think that there's two types of people out there. There's one people that need the time, and there's other people that, need a deal and they need the education. But at the end of the day, I think value, if you're giving the value, it doesn't matter what the price is. As long, it has to be within their affordable budget. But, the difference between $50 is, you spend that in a lunch,
No, you're absolutely correct. And I think people will pay for the experience.
Yes.
If they have a good experience, they don't feel like they're being taken advantage of, they'll pay more for that. And so, kind of back to hiring, one of the things we look for here when we're hiring salespeople is we don't really want the old school car sales guy.
Yeah.
We want the Sunshine Chevrolet version of a Best Buy clerk that knows everything about his or her product, and, is really, really good about displaying and explaining the product to the customer and spending time with the customer, and not so much worried about the numbers. We let our managers handle that part.
Yeah. The other thing I think is so important when it comes to salespeople is, and I know this because I'm always constantly telling my salespeople, I'm like, you must listen. Like, I don't ask the right questions and then listen for the right answers. You can't rush to the next question without really understanding what their answer is, because then you can really give them exactly what they need. And I think that is the most important thing to me, is people who really know how to listen to people, like really listen. Because if you ever hear me on a call, I'm like, I'm in. Like, don't talk to me in my other ear because I'm listening.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, the most important question I think we can ask our customers is, who's going to be driving this car?
That's a great one.
And then tell me about, if it's you, tell me about your lifestyle.
Right.
If it's someone else in your family, tell me about their lifestyle. What's the day look like?
Right.
If it's you, if I'm selling a car to you and I know you're going to have Elliott in the car with you, I know that safety is probably going to be a concern for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or if it's someone that just wants something fun to drive and, has a weekend passion to go, here we have a lot of people that, like to go camping or boating or something. And so, that's going to be important as far as towing and hauling. So, that's like the best thing we can ask a customer. I'm going to drive this, and then tell me about yourself, or the person that's going to be driving.
Right. And I think that is important too. And the type of person they are as well. Joe Soap wants to know what kind of commission you pay your salespeople.
Yeah, we actually pay our salespeople on volume, not on percentage of gross.
Yeah.
And so it does two things for our business. first off, every piece of inventory is equal to them. It doesn't matter if it is a brand new Suburban with a, lot of gross potential, or a, pre-owned Spark.
Right. I get that.
Yeah. So everything's equal to them. And so really we want them matching the customer.
I think that's
with the best vehicle on our lot for them.
I think that's absolutely because it really gives it helps. Then they're not trying to force the customer into something that they can't afford. Then it's really beneficial to them. I think that is a genius idea. It really, it's customer focused at the end of the day.
It is. And I can't take credit for it. That is another genius thing that my dad did many years ago. It's actually, we actually found, we were going through some old files and found the initial paperwork. We think it's 18 years ago that he switched from paying on gross to volume. And, it works. Right. And because the good salespeople will still make a very, very good living. Right. Because they're selling lots of cars. Yeah. But the pressure is off of them. Now, the pressure transfers to the management team to hold the gross from a business side. Right. But the salespeople are worried about matching the customer with the best cart for their needs. Right.
Right. And I think at the end of the day, if you have great salespeople, it's the right product for the customer, then the gross comes naturally, because everybody is in a happy win-win situation.
It absolutely does.
Awesome. Well, listen, one last question for you, and then I will let you get back to your Saturday. And thank you so much again. Advice for the ladies out there. Let's do this. It's a hard world. It's a man's world. What do you got for all these ladies that are trying to get to the top?
Well, my personal journey has been, don't fight that it's a man's world, embrace it, and just find your place in it. And I have a rule, and this is what I used to tell the young women that worked for me in healthcare: don't ever cry at work. You can get upset, but save it till you get in your car.
Hard.
It takes some emotional fortitude some days. Yeah. But I think what women bring to really any business is just emotional intelligence. Yeah. And so we can relate to our employees and our customers so well. And perhaps be a little less threatening. Like I said, my managers are comfortable coming to talk to me about problems and issues because I make a point to be very open to them. So I want them to come talk to me about whatever they want to come talk to me about. But you've also got to balance out with a firm hand when you need to. Some days you've got it. The answer has to be no. And
I think for women, that's hard to do. For me, it's hard. I'm still coming to terms with that. You want to give, you want to give, but at the same time, it's just like, just can't always do it.
Yeah. There's so many opportunities in the auto arena. I think there's an opportunity for every woman, to find a place, and that can also fit their lifestyle. Sales is not for everybody. It is a lot of hours. I wish there was a way we could change that. So it's not so many hours for salespeople. But it's a lot of hours, and it's pretty much every Saturday. Right. So, not everyone, and man or woman, wants to have that. But, if you have a family, I think that would be tough. And it's something I also try and respect in our young fathers who have kids at home. Yeah. It's, planning around their children's activities as well. Yeah. But, then there's some times of, maybe the 31st of the month is not the ideal day for you to take off because it's the last day of the month. Right. Sometimes you have to say no, and that's hard. But, you just have to have the hard line, because ultimately, like we started off talking about, we're
Mm-hmm.
responsible for more than one person.
Right.
We're responsible for many people's livelihoods. And so
Right.
we have to do what's best for the whole.
And not only that, but what's best for the long term too.
Right.
You know, like one day is
Mhm.
not, you know, and listen, I try, like right now, I'm going to go to this band concert for Elliott, you know, and it's 5 hours and I'm going to listen to the trumpet.
Awesome.
Way. Not everybody else's though, but you know, I think there is a time when you're like, okay, I'm going to pause work. And then I have my staff going, oh, you're only in the office for 2 hours. I'm like, yes, but then I'll be back on at 3:30. Well, let me say hi to Chevy. Listen, Kristy, thank you so much. My son loves your last name. You've been awesome. Please,
I love
I can't wait to share your story. Please feel free to share it with your friends and family. I'm honored to have you as my guest. I can't wait to see you around town.
Girl, I'm so impressed with what you've done, and I want to give a shout out to Royalty Logistics. They do an amazing job. I'm happy to be a customer, and we'll continue to be.
Thank you, Kristy. And listen, I'm so grateful for your business and honestly, your friendship. And I can't wait till many more years, my friend. Thank you so much for being on.
Have a great day.
All right, I'm going to end. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.